Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to HotFix, the most beautiful video gaming topical discussion podcast show on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I've sort
what my expression was.
No, I was so flabbergasted by it. I've kind of like threw you across in the window. There you go. You're now central, like you were like this. But you probably can't see that because you can't see what I'm looking at. But ladies and gentlemen, whatever, we could all see that together. Anyway, before we start HotFix today, we need to do a bit of a shout out, don't we, for the new patrons on our awesome Patreon page, which is hotfix.com. No, it's not hotfix.com. If only I owned hotfix.com. It's patreon.com/hotfix. There's a card link in the corner, which is a fancy annotation you can click on. There's a link in the description. Consider supporting the show if you do enjoy it. Anyway, I've got some shout outs to do. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Just spam me and I'll get you next week. So, we have got Eric Hall. Thank you for the support. Jonasar Sandström, Nordvaqvist. Thank you for the support. I have butchered your name. I apologise. Matthew Chapman. Dark Ostrava, the Butterfly Wizard. Thank you. Stephen Miller. Mike Callahan. Cameron Axe. And Tim Lancaster. Thank you guys for the support. It is beautiful and it keeps the show going. Okay. Also, as well, a disclaimer: I have massive teeth problems at the moment. So if you've got any dentists out there, I need assistance because in this country, or at least where I live in this beautiful country, when I call the dentist and say, "Hello, I would like an emergency appointment. I have massive toothache," they go, "Call back in 2 months." I'm like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, that seems bad. The last time I had to go for an appointment to the dentist because I had massive toothache, they were like, "Yeah, okay, come in tomorrow." So I don't know what. I think maybe play it up a bit, call and be like, "I need to see. I can't." And they'll be like, "Oh shit, he clearly needs assistance."
It's a disaster, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that's going to be my interesting day, trying to get a goddamn dentist appointment. And if anyone watches the streams, the 40k streams where I use my little craft drill, I am tempted to just give myself a root canal. I'm not even sure that's what I need. And isn't a root canal horrendously painful? I don't even know. It's just bad. Anyway,
do you even know which tooth you do it on? Are you just going to do all of them? Just sitting there going, "Ah."
Surely just removing your teeth and having dentures would be better anyway. You know, doesn't it feel the same?
I bet it doesn't. And also, if you forget to put them in, then you go out in public and you walk around like that.
You always turn into the Queen whenever you try to do voice. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's HotFix. Good God, it's supposed to be laser focused on the show. Also, there's no guest right now. Again, I've got to apologise for this. We record HotFix kind of the only time we can at the moment, which is let's say about 1 o'clock on a Thursday, which is a bit difficult to get guests for. I've had a lot of people say they would come on the show, but then they either don't turn up or they have other problems. So I'm going to try and work something out, but I do want guests on the show, as hilarious as Bingo's face is. It does look ridiculous.
Is it the one where she's lying on her back and she's got a crazy eye on? Excellent.
Yeah, excellent. It's got a mangled teeth out. She needs to go to the vets. The vets, no, the dentist. I was saying, right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into HotFix. Change the screen, Christ. Okay, so the first bit of news we've got is Tom Clancy's The Division is delayed into 2016. Now,
again,
it's delayed. Now, there is a quote, and it says, "All of us at Massive Reflections, Red Storm." I thought that was Massive Reflections. I was like, that is an amazing name. It's not. Then I knew that wasn't the name of a company. I was just like, I'm taking this as the name. Anyway, Red Storm Entertainment and Ubisoft, I can't say that, Anarchy, I don't know, want to ensure that the game not only meets our high expectations, but also those of our fans and players alike. We are proud of what we have achieved so far and can't wait to show you more next month at E3. So, yeah.
I've already seen people bitch about that on Twitter and a couple of comments on Reddit. And all I'll say to those people is, the question you have to ask yourself is, do you want The Division now in the state that Watch Dogs was in when it was released? Or do you want The Division next year and have it actually be good and or playable? If you would like Watch Dogs 2, then by all means, they can release it now. If you want a decent game, shut the hell up and wait. Because frankly, they've got a bad track record, Ubisoft, at the moment for releasing stuff. So as long as they're happy to have it pushed back over and over again, as long as it's good in the end, I don't care. Now, if it's still a buggy piece of crap when it releases in 2016, then obviously that's the time to get up in arms. But right now, especially after the burn that was Watch Dogs, I really take as long as you like. Knock yourselves out.
Well, I mean, we kind of had like I remember the Watch Dogs trailer from E3 a couple of years ago, and it was like amazing, like all of the effects which you actually can get into the game if you mod the game. I remember somebody worked out like the lighting effects, the rain, the weather effects, all of that stuff. You can actually kind of get them in the game, but that's not how they ship the game. It looked terrible. It was like horrendous. It's like, what is this? Abysmal. Whether that's a problem because they rushed it out the door, or because they simply didn't like design the game well enough, or for whatever other reason, it was a terrible end product, and rightfully so. Everyone was angry about that. I mean, we got the game. I think that pretty much ended our relationship with a certain person at Ubisoft, which was kind of funny because the game was shit. I mean, what were we supposed to do with that? I mean, Ubisoft's still okay with us now. They still send us keys and stuff, but it was pretty funny seeing the reactions of certain people as a result of how shit that game was. But I mean,
it's like a personal affront that we didn't use the game for stuff. But the fact is, we got the game and we had the plan of we were going to do stuff in multiplayer because we thought that'd be that'd be fun, that'd be good content. The multiplayer didn't even work. Like, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for you. In fact, the game just flat out didn't work for you out of the box anyway, did it? I'm sure you had some horrendous issues with it.
Yeah, I was trawling forums. Just I was making changes to the to some mini files and all kinds of shit just to get it even to run.
Yeah. And when we were on Twitter just going, well, sorry, but this game's just a complete waste of time. It doesn't even work properly. We can't produce anything with it. We had the reaction of someone actually going, oh, well, I did my best with it. It's like, it's not your fault, but the game is crap and we're not going to play it because it doesn't work. So
the problem is, Unit Loss tells you how it is, and we play games and we tell you what the deal is. If a game's shit, we tell you it's shit. That game was shit. I mean, I remember their advertising campaign for that. It was forget Los Santos, come and play in our world now or whatever, and it's like, mate, it's
couldn't even get in your fucking world.
Yeah.
That's the problem with that.
Well, I suppose actually, so I mean, what do I think about this? I don't really care. Like, I mean, if we there's a few segues I can kind of go down here. I think that's the right terminology, because I could go down the E3 discussion, or I could go down the Assassin's Creed discussion because it's Ubisoft. But I'm just going to keep it E3 for a moment, because E3 is like well, I shouldn't say everybody because that's not fair, but I want to see new IPs at E3. That's like when The Division was announced, great, new IP. When other stuff was announced, No Man's Sky, whatever, great, new IP. I don't think that was announced at E3, but I think that was announced at the VGX Awards or something.
Yeah.
But when you see those things, it's like, okay, that's a new IP, that's great. But then I'm finding it difficult to kind of think what is actually going to be shown at E3 this year. I think all we're going to see is, it's said in that article there, we're going to see Division gameplay, which, great, we already know about the Division. We're going to see gameplay from all the others. We're going to see like Rainbow Six whatever gameplay probably, unless I don't think that comes out before, although the open beta has been out for that, or alpha or whatever the hell they called it. It's just going to be a lot of I think we're going to see HD remakes of games for like the PlayStation 4 and stuff, like God of War and shit like that.
So many of those,
yeah, they're just going to come spamming out, and
haven't Bethesda actually
Fallout 4
3 for the first time in ages, and people were getting really excited about that, and I was kind of like, at first I was like, oh, well, actually Fallout 4 could be good, but then I thought, but it's still Fallout. Like, I want to see someone book a slot for E3 and then come out and be like, check out this brand new thing. Not check out the sequel to this thing that was really successful that people have been asking for anyway, because it's like...
So, we kind of forgot about this pre-hotfix when we do the news, because it's actually quite big news. So, Fallout 4 cinematic trailer listed on a CG artist profile on LinkedIn. So, basically, confirms that the game...
You're spending a lot of time on LinkedIn now.
The game is, out. And look at all these adverts on PC Gamer. Whoa, that played noise, oh god. So, basically, what happened was, I can't... Where's his profile? Let's go on a trail, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to Video Gamer. See if we can actually get to his...
Because it was listed... He worked on it was Fallout 4 trailer, and it was like a list on... Was it recent projects or something that he'd done on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
And he was not supposed to put that there.
There we go.
No one was supposed to put anything about a Fallout 4 trailer anywhere on any public media, let alone stick it on your LinkedIn profile, because instantly someone looked at it and went, oh, well, fancy that.
So, I can't be asked to log into LinkedIn. I don't think I've logged into LinkedIn for ages, though. Whatever. So, yeah, basically, this guy, Guillermo del Toro's production company made this trailer, right? This guy worked for them, and he's put it on his resume. It's like, this is what I've done. People do that on LinkedIn all the time. They say where they've worked, what they've done, what projects they've been involved in, and that's fine. I don't think it's technically breaking the NDA, because he's just said he's been involved in that project. He isn't giving like details. He isn't like, but obviously he's announced that it's there. You know, he hasn't meant to do it. He's not going to face legal action or anything like that. But it's like, I mean, the news is, so Fallout 4 is a thing, which, again, to me, is not really much of a shock, because Fallout 3 was a thing that made a load of money. Fallout 4...
Vegas was a thing that made a load of money.
Yeah.
So
and
Fallout 4 is like...
But it's not a new IP, this is the thing, it's like another game. But then again, you know, if they told me they were making a new Elder Scrolls game, I would be way more hyped than I would be for something like Fallout 4. Because I never really got on with Fallout 3. I mean, people slate me for this, but saying it's shit is a bit strong, but I never have got on with that game. I just don't find the... Like, I'm going to get butchered for this, but I don't like the world. I don't like the way it's done. I never liked the VAT combat thing, or VATS, whatever it's called. I didn't like the gunplay. I just didn't like the way it looked. I know you can mod it. I just didn't like the game. You know, I played it a little bit recently on a stream last year at some point. And I was getting into it, okay? I could see how it was enjoyable and it was funny, and, you know, the dialogue was great and stuff like that, but I just couldn't, like, I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. Yeah, I've played Skyrim for hundreds of hours. It is essentially the same thing, just in a fantasy setting. You know, it's like, where...
See, to me, it doesn't feel like the same thing. I don't know what it is about Fallout, but I'm the same way. It has never grabbed me. It's just never kind of taken a hold of me. I've never sat there and thought, you know what, I really want to go back to playing Fallout. It's just... I don't know whether it's the setting or whether something
When did
about
Fallout come out? When did it come out? Because, I mean, what the hell were we doing at the time? Because I remember.
No, that's a good question.
Because I what the fuck was I doing? Because I knew it came out 2008. So Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I was playing EverQuest 2 at that time. I'm not sure. Don't think I was.
That sounds about right for World of Warcraft for us.
Well, yeah, so it feels like maybe it was just something we missed completely because we were playing other games. But like I said, when I went back and played it, I could see, you know, it was a decent game, you know, but I was never really taken with Fallout. So I am kind of interested to see what they do with Fallout 4, but I mean, let's be honest here, it's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be heavily moddable like Skyrim. Because Skyrim is like $1 billion game. Well, it's made more than $1 billion. That is a massive money-making thing. So it's odds on that they've got the next Elder Scrolls in production. You know, it'll never not be in production. The next Fallout, it makes sense to come out with that before Skyrim. Because let's face it, Skyrim still sells shitloads, Skyrim. It always will until the next one comes out. Provided it doesn't sell paid mods through Steam Workshop. So I'm not really shocked. I ain't shocked about this, you know. It's just like, I want to see the trailer, but I hope it isn't some CG fucking... Well, it's going to be CG fest. It says CG trailer. So...
I think, you know, this is kind of... The way we've been talking about this, and just E3 in general, I think we've kind of stumbled onto almost like a topic in and of itself here. Do you honestly care about E3 at this point? Like, are you looking forward to it?
Well, so...
Are you sitting there like, oh, okay, cool, E3's on soon, I can't wait to see what happens? Or are you just like, they're going to release endless sequels, HD remakes, we're not going to really see any new IPs, and it's really just there for... It's just like a big marketing stunt.
So, E3, this year, I know they've got like apparently a PC-focused display or something going on, so that could be interesting. But, you know, I've spoken to people who've done things, like, have done gigs and stuff at E3, and it's... And even from what you can blatantly see when you watch the E3 streams, it is just a marketing ploy for the big companies, essentially. And do I get excited for it? I don't know whether excited is the right word. I mean, I'm interested to see what's announced, but you know, I sat through and watched the last two pretty well. I watched all the streamed content of the last two, and
yeah,
you know, I remember the Nintendo conferences, I remember the Sony one and stuff like that, and it was kind of exciting at the time because they're announcing the new consoles and stuff like that. So, but then again, you know, I'm not excited. I just ain't excited for it. Like, it's not like, oh god, I can't wait to see what games are announced here, because I know. No, I already know. We know this age we live in. We know Fallout 4 now because of leaks. We know well, they've told us they're going to show the Division. We know that there's going to be like Assassin's Creed related shit. You know there's going to be like Call of Duty shit. You just know there's going to be all of that shit. There's no surprise there anymore. And it's kind of a problem with the gaming industry and also like the film industry or the movie industry, where they just make sequels after sequel because it's what makes them money. And you know what? This ties us into, before we have a laugh at the state of Nintendo with their, I don't even know what the hell that video is, but it ties us into... I'm just filling while I try and find the link. I probably need a filling in on top, actually. Filling.
It's gone missing.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah. So this fills us into the. It fills us in. Whatever. Monitor only into the Assassin's Creed thing. Now, Assassin's Creed, is it called Victory or something? I don't even know what it's called. I care that much about it. Syndicate. No, it's Syndicate. Yeah, it says that. So this is an article on Rock Paper Shotgun where they take the piss out of their pre-order bonuses with things like the Assassin's Creed Syndicate Gore Blimey Love a Duck Collector's Case with like a pork pie in it and shit, and then the EastEnders edition with a Queen Vic diorama, and then like the Assassin's Creed Syndicate Sitting Backwards on a Chair Deluxe edition, and then Wanker edition, and then fucking, you know, it just gets worse. And then, like, I like this is the part where it's like, you'll buy this crap, whatever we write here. You get some Harry Potter shit, a two-sided map showing how all of England is near London, a Beefeater outfit. It's just like, so. This was announced, right? Right, we knew it. We knew about it, right? But the little live stream event they did yesterday, or the day before, whenever it was, I can't even remember because it was so shit. Was a developer bored out of his brain for like an hour, talking in a monotone fashion about all of the things we have in the new Assassin's Creed. We have a grappling hook, which really helps you traverse the environment. It's like, well, okay.
So this was the thing that got me, when it was like, we're going to talk about all the new features for Assassin's Creed, and all the new features basically boiled down to, it's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying with E3. It's like...
what it is. It's like...
It's kind of in the sequel syndrome. Oh my god. I don't even like it. Holy shit. Right, I've not played I've not played the first one. I've not played the second one. I haven't played Brotherhood. I haven't played whatever the hell's in between all that. What I have played is Assassin's Creed 3. That was shit, right? I bought an Xbox 360, right? I got that with it, and I was like, oh, okay. Put it in, and I couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. There was shit story. It was just shit, and I'm like, this is shit, right? So then I didn't get angry. I just didn't want to know, and I gave it to you, Mr. Kirioff.
Absolutely. Like, for me, if I think,
man, let me carry on my rant. Then I played the pirate one, Black Flag. That was
good.
Right, the ship thing was good, but I didn't care about any of the other shit. So I only played it for like 3 hours. I was like, Christ, I wanted my time back. Then, whatever the last... Unity, well, we know the picture of Unity, don't we, guys? The eye thing. We spoke enough about that. That was abysmally shit. Like, abysmally shit. And I just don't... Like, these games have piss poor characters. They have piss poor gameplay. No, piss poor visual design.
Shut your mouth. Shut the fuck up. You can't sit there and say, I didn't play any of them until 3,
no,
but
the
all
ones
the
I
characters
played
are shit.
No,
because
hang
you've
on.
missed it. Okay, right.
Just from 3, the pirate one and the one I paid, they were shit, bloke. They were shit. Those 3 were shit. I don't know about the other ones. Because I think that's what they're living off.
Like one of the best ones.
Is that what they're living off? Is that what they're living off, bloke? The past successes?
No, I don't think so.
Like
I don't
1
think
and
so.
2 and the other one. And the
well,
one
no,
in Venice.
because Black Flag was one of the most popular ones they did, so it's not right.
Black Flag was the next gen one, wasn't it? It was like, ooh, next gen. And to be fair, that did look like the sea was nice and the boats, and it did look nice actually because it was like in the Caribbean, wasn't it? And all like fancy colours and shit.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I think there were just certain things where I'm just like, that game, that entire game series, I just do not like it, and I hate it. Though.
You did make like a fatal mistake. No one should ever introduce themselves to Assassin's Creed by playing Assassin's Creed 3.
It's like I've played the worst one and it's fucked me forever.
You played the worst one first, and honestly, I played all of them up to 3, and 3 stopped me from playing Assassin's Creed until a year after Black Flag was released. That's how bad 3 was. So, like, I liked the games. I played the first one all the way up to 3. I played every single one. I played an hour of 3 with Kat, and then we literally turned it off.
He means with his wife, not an actual cat, by the way.
And then
it's not even like a fucking cat he's playing.
And then, like, we turned it off. Just never put an Assassin's Creed game in again. Didn't even touch it until after I played Unity, and then we started playing Black Flag together.
Yeah.
So 3 completely killed the series for me, and I loved the Assassin's Creed series. So that should give you an indication as to just how shit that game was. But it's like the problem that I've got is that I don't like the series as much as I used to. We're still going to finish Black Flag, and once we finish Black Flag, I'm sure we'll go back and finish Unity, because I did enjoy Unity, and now it's been patched like upside down, backwards, sideways, basically to the point where the entire game's been rewritten so it works properly. I'm sure we'll enjoy that as well. But the thing is,
the damage is already done though with that, surely.
Yeah, I'd have thought so at this stage. But the problem that I've got is that I like the series, and they've got a decent world set up. Ignore 3, don't pay attention to that, but they've got a decent world. They've got a decent like backlog of characters. I want to play Assassin's Creed Rogue as well, because apparently that was really good. That was like that got completely overshadowed.
Version.
The one that was released at the same time as Unity got completely overshadowed. No one talked about it. By all accounts, it's just a better game than Unity, and it's essentially Black Flag as well. But they've improved all the mechanics from Black Flag. So, from what I've been reading, you know, the ships handle better. They've made it more interesting to sail them. They've made the exploration more interesting.
That was the thing with Unity. I'm like, where are the boats? I get you're in Paris, but I mean, that was such a really good mechanic they had there. And it was the most interesting thing to me.
That's the thing. It was something inventive. I love the fact that it was something inventive. Like, I know 3 put me off for ages, but when I've been playing Black Flag, I've really enjoyed it because it's Assassin's Creed, which I like.
Yeah.
But it's got something new and different and unique, and it's like, I've never seen this in this type of game. This is brilliant. But then with Unity, they just got rid of it. And I know they introduced stuff like jumping through time rifts and ending up on the Eiffel Tower, like trying to escape German bombers whilst you're climbing it and stuff. That's all well and good, but it's still not the same as introducing a brand new concept into the series. Because let's face it, doing the whole time travel thing, you effectively do that every time you step in and out of the Animus. That's not new.
I don't think
that's
the Germans ever bombed Paris in World War II, so that was a fucking lie. I'm going to Google that.
But I just don't get why they haven't done something interesting with it again. Maybe because they can't sit there and say to themselves, well, you know, we can't change the formula too much because that won't work. Because of the Black Flag.
Hang on, they did bomb Paris, so I'm sorry.
Carry on. But it's like they changed the formula for Black Flag, and not only did it worked brilliantly, and it's like everyone likes that game.
So why
the fuck are they not doing something like that?
We look at Assassin's Creed fucking Syndicate. The only thing it had in the game that I've not seen in the other games is the grappling hook, which
really, why the fuck has it not had that before anyway?
I know, that's like some like fucking Victorian invention, is it? That's like medieval shit, son. You know what I mean? You know what I think that is? I think that's an easy way of circumventing the climbing animations, because they were shit. In the ones I've played, when you climb up stuff, it looks crazy sometimes. Like he makes like it doesn't look right how he climbs up stuff. Climbing down stuff looks better. I don't know why, but
it can be rough sometimes.
So if you're just firing, I'm like Spider-Man. If you're firing a thing and then like just going straight to the top, that circumnavigates a lot of the work, I guess.
The problem is,
and also he takes his hat off and then he becomes stealthy. Like he's got a top hat. And he takes it off and puts his hood up and it's like stealth mode. So what's that about? And everyone's got a posh English voice. Oh, hello there, dear. What?
They do a good job of setting up the environments. Like for all of its bug-ridden nastiness, Unity, the job they did actually on Paris as a place to explore and as a place to play a game is phenomenal. It's really, really good. Like you can hate on the way the guy moves all you like, but the actual environment that he's in was brilliantly done. And that's something that pretty much every reviewer is like, well, in fairness, yeah, the crowd might pop in. It might be buggy as fuck.
Though. Yeah.
But it looks brilliant.
Yeah. But isn't that because they've got 1,000 people working on these games?
But that's something that they're really strong with. So why would you make something that good, make that setting that's so detailed and so like amazing to run around, and then not give the player some sort of unique way of doing it? A grappling hook is not unique. The parkour system is not unique. They cannot sit there and say, oh, well, you know, we did something unique once and it didn't work. Because it did work and people fucking loved it. So rather than sit there and have your series get so stale that even someone who enjoyed pretty much every game but one is sitting there telling you that it's stale, why are you not doing something with it? Like, why are you not introducing different ways of playing the game? It pisses me off, because it's another case of where like a publisher has got a franchise and it's doing well, and they're so fucking terrified of losing.
Is it doing well now, though? That's the thing, though. I mean, I guess it's been on a downward trend.
Unity still sold really, really well.
Fucking hell, who the hell is buying it, man? That's okay then.
I mean, well, it launched, it sold really well. How well it sold after that when all the news stories broke, I don't know. And I still can't believe how lucky I was with that game because I had like no bugs. I don't know what happened.
Well,
amazing.
I'm just going to swap to the monitor, and this is an article from Eurogamer, and it says Assassin's Creed Unity launch beats Black Flag in the UK chart.
Yeah.
So,
but then again, that's the thing. Black Flag. It beats Black Flag. And why does it beat Black Flag? Because in Black Flag, they introduce fucking sailing. They introduce pirate ships. They introduce new areas that you'd never seen before in Assassin's Creed.
And people
so what did they do?
Yeah.
They took this revolutionary thing they'd done with this franchise that was getting stale. Like, I love Revelations, but it was getting stale by that point. It was getting old. And then in comes Black Flag, and it's like, holy shit, look what they've done with this. This is new, this is different, you know, they're mixing it up. And then they release Unity, and it's just fucking Revelations again, but slightly further ahead in time. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why can you not take that risk again? Now, they might be playing it safe this time, like they might have had grand plans, but Unity came out, everyone was like, what the fuck is going on? And so they've scaled it back. I don't know, but I don't understand why, and every publisher's doing this. Like, they all are. It's not just Ubisoft. I mean, it sounds like we're hating exclusively on them, but fucking Activision is just as bad. EA is just as bad. You know, hell, Blizzard to an extent.
Well, I mean, if you look at the
well.
Activision example, you've got like if you look at the last couple of Call of Duties, with the exception of the last Call of Duty, they've all been the same. The last one just had the little movement thing. It's only a little change, but I'm pretty sure that's being reversed for the next one because the community didn't like it. But you know, it's the thing is like Assassin's Creed is like I don't know, right? For me, it just is something I've never really been. I just don't care. Like if it was something which was, all right. So I look at Syndicate, right, and I see nothing which makes me want to play that. The fact it's in London, I don't care. That is not enough to make me go, oh, I'm from England, so I'm going to play it.
They're treating that as a gimmick as well, and that pisses me off because that's not a gimmick. That's just the setting. It's like, oh, it's Assassin's Creed, but in London. I don't care. Unity was in Paris. I just wanted to play a decent game. I don't give a fuck where it's set. It could make up a city, any city they liked, and say it was set in that one, as long as the game was good and the place looked amazing. You don't actually care where it is or what it's called. You just want the experience. So going, oh, it's London, so it's great. It's
from
like,
like
no.
3 to Black Flag to Unity. That's all like the age of firearms and shit. It's all the same weaponry. You get what I'm saying? It's not like the older ones were like medieval shit when they're like crossbows and whatever, wasn't they? I think 1 and 2 and whatever. But this one, it's still the same. You know, Victorian London. It's still gonna be guns. You know, like not like assault rifle weapons, but you know, pistols and whatever. It's, you know, look, listen, it isn't enough to sell me. It's just the same. Like to me, I'm just like, okay, this looks the same. The fact that you give me a stupid grappling hook, I don't care. Nobody talks like that in London, especially in the Victorian area, because London was a shithole. It still is a shithole in most areas, ladies and gentlemen. It's not some sort of fucking, oh my lord, everybody speaks like this. Good golly. It's what, mate? How you doing? I'm gonna fucking cut you. That's what goes on in London, right? Kimmy's been there enough times to know. I've been there enough times to know.
God, you know what? Where my wife used to live when she was at university, she was there for 4 years, and I went and saw her every other weekend. That's where my student loan went, by the way. Didn't spend it on anything to do with education, just train tickets. Don't do that. That's stupid. But she lives in a right shithole. Like, you literally had to walk through an actual ghetto to get to her halls of residence, and she lived on the outskirts of London. It was bad. It was nothing like old London. It's not better than London is now. It's still, you know, it wasn't full of posh people everywhere. The thing that gets me, right, is that, okay, if the setting is good, like if London is really fun to explore, like I know I'll play it. I'll at least play it. Whether I like it or not, I'm not going to make a judgment on that. I do tend to enjoy most Assassin's Creed games, but I also enjoy them knowing that they're nothing special anymore. Like, that I'm enjoying it because it's Assassin's Creed, not necessarily because it's some sort of shining example of game design. But whenever I see anything about Assassin's Creed, all I can think is they took a risk with Black Flag and it paid off massively. Why do they not try that again? And why don't they try and break the mold of being in the same time period? Like,
how long can you carry on doing the same thing? This is the thing. They're going to take a hit.
Especially when there's so much you can do. It's like, it's a fucking time travel series when you can go into the past through people's memories. Why can they not set it, like, really far in the future? Why can they not develop some sort of animus thing where you can see possible events happening along your ancestry line or something? I mean, it's bullshit. They can make it up. Do whatever you like. Like the other day, I watched Equilibrium again, which is a fantastic film. Why is there no Assassin's Creed set in some sort of dystopian future where the Templars have won out and rule everything, and there is a small group of assassins attempting to fight to overthrow them, and instead of fucking sword combat like you've had since Assassin's Creed 1, all the way up to this new one, Syndicate, you're doing gun katana instead. So you've got 2 pistols and you're having crazy fights with those. Why don't they make that? That would sell a ridiculous amount. It's mixing two genres that people
and you know
love.
what?
So what the fuck
The
is
combat,
going on? Why do
I
they not
found the
do
combat
that?
quite bad in unit. Well, I guess it's the same. Well, I say bad. It's just simplistic combat.
It never changes as well.
It's
Never
just
changes.
like slash block slash. There's no like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just gets on my nerves because I like the series. Like I rate Revelations as one of my favourite games pretty much ever. I know a lot of people didn't like that game, but I really enjoyed it. So it pisses me off when I see a franchise that I used to like essentially becoming so stale that even me, who really likes it, when a new one is announced, just goes, all right. Like, I don't want to have that reaction when a company announces a new game in a series I like. I want to be like, oh shit, yes, not oh another one. Because when people are sitting there going, oh, another one, it means you've fucked up and you're making it boring for everybody. So fucking, oh, God.
But having them fuck up is good in some respect, because it makes them, it maybe shock them into change. But then again, who knows? Who fucking knows, bloke? But let's move on anyway. So the next thing we've got is, now I can't play this because the video will get claimed by Nintendo. So you can just look at their headquarters, probably still be claimed by Nintendo. So this is Nintendo getting ready for E3 2015 because they're going to start the... there's going to be the, whatever they call it, the Nintendo World Championships after 25 years. It's coming back. Now, like, Nintendo at E3, you know what, I'm gonna say some shocking stuff, bloke. The Wii U is the best console I own. Now, that is absolutely shocking in every single conceivable degree, because Nintendo have a shithead policy to YouTube, because they've got fucked up values where they think they should be taking it. Fuck them and their stupid policy. And I feel very sorry for a lot. And I know some of these guys as well, big Nintendo channels who are fucked completely in the arse by Nintendo, losing a load of their revenue. Yeah. Anyway, so for me to say it is like, I'm trying to be impartial, which is pretty hard considering my last statement. But that Wii U, the games I've played on that Wii U, Mario Kart, right? Bayonetta 2. I don't even... Smash was okay, although I had to send that back because their PR department are idiots. But Mario Kart and Bayonetta 2, I also had to send Bayonetta 2 back. I've only actually got Mario Kart. But Bayonetta 2 was the best game I played last year by fucking miles. That was so good, right? And it's on the worst system. How? You know what as well? It's 60 FPS. Now this is interesting, Mr. Kirill. Mario Kart is 60 FPS. Yeah. Now the graphics are shit, but I suppose you could argue Mario looks like that anyway. You know, like, you know, if you had like some super fucking Mario, you know, like Crisis style Mario on the go, it wouldn't look very good.
It's effectively a cartoon character, ain't it? That's what it is. Yeah. So you know, if it was hyper realistic, it would just be like frightening. I don't understand what is going on.
I mean, so like, when I say it's the best console I've got, because I've got sitting next to me here PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One, and I played Bloodborne on the PlayStation 4. Okay, that's a good game. The performance is terrible, but okay, that was a good game. But I really enjoyed playing Bayonetta. Like, I would say that's higher on the list for me. The Xbox One, I played FIFA on it. And that's basically it. Like, I've got these systems waiting for, like, I don't want to say a killer game, but waiting for a really good game to come out and that I will really enjoy. Yet, the most ridiculous thing is the Wii U, which is the cheapest out of all of them, has had the games where I've had by far the most like enjoyment on like a per platform basis sort of thing. I mean, I've played Mario Kart with people. It's like, it's so good, that game. It's like just for pissing about on. You know, it's not something you're going to play for ages. It isn't like, you know, but it really is, and it's like, it makes me... I know this is a bit long-winded, but I want to see what they've got on E3, because they're probably the ones most likely to announce newer stuff. I mean, Splatoon. Well, Splatoon is the thing. I haven't played that. There was a time-limited demo for that, but I think that comes out end of May at some point. That looks stupid. You know, it looks stupidly fun. Like, it looks stupid, but like, I've got like two things going against me here. I run a YouTube channel, and they hate YouTube. I could stream it, but they hate YouTube, you know, so it goes against, like, I hate the fact that they don't understand YouTube, and it makes me want, I've got this, it's not irrational, I think it's justified hate of them. So then when I get their games, and I'm like, it's actually pretty good, I have this massive, like, war.
Like, it's grudging, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
good, it's like, it's good, but I don't really want it to be good, because they've got such a terrible attitude. But how? I'm sorry, but how fucking sad is it that the people to look forward to at E3 are Nintendo? Of all the backwards, inward-facing, like insular, paranoid companies out there, fucking Nintendo are the ones who are most likely to say something revolutionary at E3. What is going on?
What was the last game I was shown where I was like, fucking hell? Like, I knew nothing about the game before. My tea's gone cold. I'm not drinking that. I knew nothing about the game before. It came out of nowhere, and it was that No Man's Sky game on that shit VGX award show. I was like, what is this? This looks a bit ridiculous. Like, now, obviously, we know a bit more information about it. Now we know the video you made on it and stuff like that. But, well, a speculative video, because we do... I agree with that as well. I think there's a lot of hype put on that game by Sony, which I think people are expecting more from the game than it actually will be. But I think it'll be okay.
I think it's going to be perfectly good for what it is. Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as big as people think.
Yeah, it's just like they sort of are promising something. But they're not really. It's hard, but I just think people are expecting more than they're actually going to get from that game. But that's like the last thing where I was like, shit, look at that. Division probably was one as well. Like, wow, that looks pretty good.
That was. I remember seeing The Division and Twitter lighting up with, "Oh my god, he shut the car door." That was one of my favourite things from that, because Nintendo, for me, the problem is that for every time they do something that seems like interesting or exceptional, like Bayonetta 2, for instance, like actively funding that was like,
which is weird, God, which is very weird, because why would they be funding Bayonetta 2 on what is predominantly, and again I'm going to get slated for this, but a children's console? I've had people ask me, well, you know what? A couple of weeks back, well, it was about a month ago when we were sorting out the shack that I'm sitting in now, like the little studio I've got built. The guy who's helping me out was carrying the Wii U into here, and he didn't know what it was. He thought the control, the big stupid controller, was the thing. He didn't understand what it was. He's got a Wii, and he's like, "What is this? What's the difference?" All that problems they have with marketing and stuff. And I said to him, "Oh, it's a Wii U," and he's like, "Oh, a kid's thing," and I'm like, "Yeah, well." Yeah, it is kind of a kid's thing, but also it's got Bayonetta 2 on it, which is this like hyper-sexualized murder game. It's like, what? It's like, well, that was weird. But like, honestly, I'd like to see them go more down the route of that and like give more adult games out, games that would appeal to some idiot like me, because I don't really want to play Mario and jump around. I play Mario Kart because it's competitive. I guess some of the Mario games are competitive. Like, I'm not qualified to speak on this, but it is disgusting when I do say that console is probably the best one I've got. I've had the most enjoyment out of it, out of all the new ones. I know Nintendo have got a new console in development, but who knows what that'll be. They probably won't say anything about that. I mean, maybe they will, I don't know. But it is pretty disgusting that maybe they are the ones that I can't... Because you know what? I watch Nintendo Direct. Do you ever watch them? They're so cheesy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I watch them. And I'm watching them and I'm like, hey, that don't look too bad. And then I'm like, oh, it's Nintendo.
The thing is, they seem to be the only company making a distinct effort to shake things up. Because E3 is very set in its ways. It is exactly what it is and what it always has been. It's just like, oh, let's just sit there and we'll try and sell our games to the rest of the industry. And that's all it is. It's not for the consumer. It's for every other company, effectively. And it really shows. Whereas Nintendo seem to, like with that video they've released, they're obviously not trying to sell it to other companies. They're trying to sell it to people who follow Nintendo, which is not what everyone else is doing.
Well, you look at Reddit, okay? If you look at our games on Reddit, you'll see it was like maybe it isn't top of the Reddit now, but it was the announcement video because Reggie, who's the guy in it, he's basically like a cult figure. A lot of people are like, wow, Reggie's amazing. And the video is just him training to go into the Nintendo World Championship things, and he's like doing stupid things like using GameCubes as weights and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess this kind of does lead into it leads into the Witcher 3 graphics debate in a way, because this is the E3 link. Because when we talk about things like The Division and Watch Dogs, what they showed us at E3 was not at all representative of the final product. Well, I say The Division, that hasn't come out yet, but I don't think that will look like how it did, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd be surprised.
Well, the Watch Dogs definitely didn't. Well, the Watch Dogs
looked terrible.
Shit. So I'm going to go to let's do the graphic comparison first.
You know what? I've just remembered something that made me laugh when I played Watch Dogs. Something that I didn't understand how they could overlook this. As people who've played it will tell you, if ever you get like a full-on wanted level and you need to escape it, If you jump into the water or steal a boat, you can escape it. Because these people who are telling you, forget Los Santos, come and play Watch Dogs, forgot to put police boats in the game. So you could escape the police simply by getting in a boat and driving away. If that doesn't tell you everything about the attitude that was taken to the production of that game, I really don't know what does, because it's such a pathetic oversight that should never have even been, like... How do you not think of that, really? I mean, for God's sake, it's just poor. Absolutely poor.
Well, so what we've got now is The Witcher 3. Now, this is an Imgur album of comparison pictures. Now, the first one is pretty telling, okay? So what we've got here is The Witcher 2 from 2011, which is a really good-looking game. A fucking really good-looking game, even now, right? But Witcher 3 promised to be even better looking, as I'll show you as we go through the screenshots. Well, if you look at the comparison picture, look at that. Witcher 3 2015, well, it looks flat.
It looks
the texture resolution looks terrible. I mean, just look at that. Where are the shadows?
The colours are off as well. Like, really badly off.
Well,
why is the greenery, like, why are the trees that green behind him when the grass is a different... Like, it's like they've got two different areas mixed together somehow.
Well, I think there's... I know that what they've done for the review things, but we'll get onto that in a second, is it's only PS4, which has been given out for review. As far as I'm aware, there are no PC versions of this game out yet, and I don't think anybody's getting access to those until the game launches, which is questionable, because maybe it's got severe performance issues or something, who knows. So the next screenshot down shows you from 2013 to 14 in-game trailers. As the person's very clearly pointed out, amazing fire, amazing smoke, and great particle effects. You can see them all over the screen. The smoke looks real. You know, this looks like a village that is actually burning down. And then we go to a 2015 gameplay trailer, which is of a village burning down, and you can see there is much less smoke particles. Well, there's much less particles, there's less smoke. The fire does not look as good. If I just go back and forth between them, it looks really flat. It doesn't look like volumetric or anything. There's also another one. Yeah, this is the one I wanted to show you. The one about the draw distance and stuff. So, 2013 gameplay trailer. Again, shows like a really nice sky. A very large draw distance. You can see the mountains in the distance. You know, there's like some sort of town over there. There's smoke stacks coming out. Well, they're not smoke stacks, but there's smoke coming out of the chimneys over there in the little village. And, you know, that looks like a real world. It's like, well, that looks great. But then if we scroll down to a 2015 one, apparently on ultra settings. Now, I'm not sure about this because this is probably on PlayStation 4. I don't know, but yeah. Ultra, I don't know. But even if this is Ultra really for PC, then what has happened to the draw distance? Because you can, again, what these arrows show you is their village in the distance. It looks completely different. Look at that. That screenshot.
What's happened
to that?
What's happened to the color palette as well?
It seems to have got like more vibrant, hasn't it? But
I don't understand why though, because the setting of The Witcher, it's not. I'm sorry, but it doesn't need to be vibrant. It needs to be. It needs to be atmospheric. And the top one, the in-game trailer from 2013, that is atmospheric. And that, you know what, that looks real to me. That looks real, like realistic. Anyway.
Yeah, realistic. Yeah.
That kind of weird, like, multicolored grass situation they've got going on the ultra settings gameplay video, but then there's like a really dark patch by the town. It's like they've just rammed two different areas of the game together and gone, yeah, no, that's fine.
I mean, this is the best screenshot, which just really show the difference off. I mean, that is just ridiculous. Like, what they have showed there in a 2013 game trailer, which you could say is similar to an E3 trailer, to what they've actually produced, is completely different. And it's like, I get that some things have to be toned down and you always want your game to look its best and with your marketing material, but there has to come a point where this is illegal advertising, because what you are doing here is, I'm just going to switch back to the faces. You're saying this is what our product looks like. Pre-order the game. Now, whatever you think about pre-orders, loads of people pre-order. Now, my thoughts on pre-ordering is 90% of the time you shouldn't pre-order, but if you are a die-hard fan of a series and you will get some sort of bonus for pre-ordering, then by all means. But do not, like, if you were not a Witcher fan and you've seen that trailer, you become hyped to oblivion because you're like, wow, this looks amazing. And you go and order the game, or pre-order the game. A year later, the game comes out, or 2 years later it comes out, and looks nothing like what you've pre-ordered. Well, you've been falsely advertised to there, and somebody has to be held accountable for that. And
Yeah.
This happens over, like, time and time again. I mean, honestly, do I care if The Witcher looked like the crap screenshot I showed or the good screenshot? Well, okay, I want it to look like the good screenshot. But if they hadn't showed the good one to me, I wouldn't really care anyway. Because I know I'm a fan of the Witcher series. I know what that game is like, and I cannot wait to play this game, right? But it will piss me off because I know what has been teased and what has been shown to me, or what the game actually is way different than what they said it would be with earlier advertising material. Now, whether you'll be able to ram this up on the PC version, it's got magical, ultra, super settings, who knows, right? But then, why haven't they sent that out for review? Surely you'd want the best version out for review. This is, again, a problem I've got with them. They have been very, very quiet with me, right? Approaching them for months and months, because I've got some pretty good contacts at GOG and, you know, all that stuff. Because if you remember, we did the streaming on the GOG channels and stuff like that. CD Projekt Red owned them. So for them to go very dark, to me, you know, sort of like ignoring, well, not ignoring, but giving me like vague responses back as to what's going to happen, or speak to this person, and then not getting anything back, is very questionable. That is the sign of silence, because we don't want to actually give you our game because it doesn't work, or there's something really bad wrong with it.
Yeah, it never. If ever a company goes completely like non-responsive to you in response to, can we play this, then it's either because there's some sort of NDA going around with other channels, which happens occasionally, but more often it's because the game isn't in the state that it should be. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. The problem that I've got with all of this is, like, we've already mentioned Watch Dogs as an example here, and if the game is capable right now, like this very second, of looking how it did when they first started promoting it,
which it must be.
Why do the screenshots not show that? Why are they not displaying that? You do not make your game look worse on the run-up to release in an attempt to build up hype. You make it look just as good, if not better. Because in 2013, right, you're going to be getting people who are going to look at it and go, oh my god, that looks amazing. But at that point, you are not literally attempting to sell the game. You're attempting to build up hype for when you do sell the game. You're trying to get it into the public attention, get people talking about it, you know, get opinions up, get topics going, get eyes on news, essentially. You are not at that point attempting to sell the product. You're just trying to sell awareness of the product. And that's what they did. So now, if we get to the point where it's like the game is pretty much out, and all of these screenshots and all these videos show like graphics that are way below what was originally advertised.
That are worse than Witcher 2. If they literally just used the Witcher 2 engine, which they probably have used a modified version of it, it would be better. Like that's why.
That is a genuine cause for concern, because you not make the game look worse on purpose close to release when you're trying to get people to actually buy it. So you would make it look better. So the only thing that could be true out of all of that, if you're thinking about it logically, is that, well, maybe it's not looking as good as it used to because it just doesn't look as good as it used to.
Well, because it runs at 1 FPS. That's probably why.
Like, that's arsehole behaviour, and that's terrible. And
well,
I don't understand how people still think there's going to be no backlash against it.
Well, I'm just showing the pictures of Geralt fighting some sort of like monster thing with one of his signs, like setting it on fire. And this is an early shot from 2013. It's from the debut gameplay trailer, and it looks pretty fucking good. But then if I scroll down to what's from the 2015 gameplay trailer, it's completely different. Like the lighting is gone, the shadows are gone, everything looks flat. It looks absolutely terrible in comparison. But then if I scroll down even further and we go to this screenshot, which I think is like really bad. It's at the bottom, and it's the one where he's surrounded by 4 guys in like a
fighting
village.
In the town.
Yeah, that looks like, well, it looks like an Xbox 360 game or something. This looks like a game, like it just doesn't look like there's any. That looks
it doesn't
really
look like
bad.
the same game.
No,
I'm going to be honest here. It doesn't look like the same game.
No,
and that's something to be genuinely worried by. Why would you release that top screenshot like now, just before the game's released, if the game could look how it did a year ago, according to the thing at the bottom, 1 year old screenshot from YouTube? If that's what it looked like a year ago, why are you now making it look so much worse than it did, like for release? Either you're trying to get people's expectations down because most people.
Well, why didn't they just clarify? Why didn't they just say, guys, right? The screenshots you're seeing are from the PlayStation version or something, or the Xbox version, instead of like saying nothing? But they have shown us, like, they understand PC gamers, right? CD Projekt, they understand them because that's what their business is built off, right? It's the first major console release they've ever done. That's why it took them longer to develop, because they had to keep pushing this game back, okay? So there actually was talk of they are primarily developing for the consoles, and the PC version has suffered as a result, which, if that's true, is pretty bad. The only thing they have said about this game, which is pretty good, is all the DLC is free for this. It's just free. You just get it when it's made. And it's like, well, okay, that's pretty nice. Like, but I mean, I go back again, and The Witcher, I want to play this game, right? I am hyped for this game because The Witcher 1 was a great game. The Witcher 2 was a better game, and I really enjoyed The Witcher 2, right? I can't stress enough how much I enjoyed that game. It's the first time I've played a game. In fact, it's like one of the only games that is actually like representative of what would happen in that era, because it is essentially a medieval Dark Ages type of era, and people are scumbags, you know, and the dialogue is fantastic. You know, it's not like some sort of happy-go-lucky fantasy world. It's an actual, it's how you would expect it to be, right? You know, murder, rape, all kinds of shit going on, because that's what it would be like. There are no laws, essentially, are there? It's just like everybody's a thug kind of thing, and that's what really draws me to it. And I've no doubt that this will be the same, which leads me into the other thing, the review that we've got from actually, let me just bring the monitor over. So this is the review from GameSpot, because all the reviews have come out for The Witcher, and I've got a Reddit thread open. I'd like to read the conclusion that they've put in. So all these are obviously for the PS4. Well, it actually says there, the thread there, if you can read, but they're all PS4 versions, because as I said, no PC versions have been sent out. I don't know what's going on with Xbox One versions, although I know that they are, or people have been playing them on Twitch, but I think they've been sent the game early and stuff like that. Anyway, so GameSpot gave this a 10 out of 10. Now, there's actually a post, or there was a post, where a guy lists all of the games that they did give 10 out of 10, and I'll go over that in a second. So, like, for GameSpot to give a 10 out of 10 is actually quite a big thing. I don't agree with scores in game reviews. I don't agree with game reviews on written websites at all. Watch YouTube, it's much better. But this is what they say. These distractions stand out, in part because The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is otherwise incredible and sumptuous. The little quirks are pronounced when they are surrounded by stellar details. And make no mistake, this is one of the best role-playing games ever crafted. A titan among giants, and the standard setter for all such games going forward. Where The Witcher 2 sputtered to a halt, The Witcher 3 is always in a crescendo, crafting battle scenarios that constantly one-up the last until you reach the explosive finale and recover in the glow, the nuclear amazing glow, in the glow of the game's quiet denouncement. I mean, but while the grand clashes are captivating, it is the moments between conflicts when you drink with the local clans and bask. I mean, I just, you know, I remember that from. Let me just go back to. I'm getting emotional. I remember that, you know, that the atmosphere building in The Witcher 2. I remember you going to like the first town you go into, and you can just walk around this town, and it is a medieval peasant village. And it is exactly how you think it would be. You know, I think I put a clip on YouTube, you know, about some guy, one of the gods singing about elves, because like elves are like seen as like everyone's racist to elves. Like humans are the most abundant race, but they're like not very clever. You know, like apart from the leaders, obviously, but the common peasant is like an idiot thug. And they're singing about like raping an elf or something stupid like that, and it's like that's dark, but it's also kind of real, you know what I mean? It's like that's dark, but you can experience these things. And I mean, Witcher 2 was a very linear experience. Witcher 3 is supposed to be open world, you can do what you like. But what I wanted to show by reading that off, and in fact I'll just go back to the thing before I let you come in. I'll tell you what, I'm doing a lot of talking, it's destroying my throat. Holy shit. If we go back to the 10 out of 10 thing, so this user Osmi Dandas, or whatever the hell his name is, or her name, says the only other games that GameSpot have given 10 out of 10 are Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Soul Calibur, Chrono Cross, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Grand Theft Auto 4, Metal Gear Solid 4, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Bayonetta 2, and The Witcher 3. Now, out of all of those,
10 out of 10 to Grand Theft Auto 4.
It wouldn't have been the PC version.
Yeah, but still. 10 out of 10 for GTA 4.
Well, I don't know about that, though, because maybe it was decent back in the day. I don't know. But it's not 10 out of 10. I mean, if they give that 10 out of 10, why haven't they given GTA 5 10 out of 10? Because it was vastly superior. But Bayonetta 2, I agree with you. So if they're saying that The Witcher 3 is that kind of like level, then yeah, it's getting you hyped. I mean, when I look at their actual review and they list all of the pros, and then the only con on the list is some disruptive bugs. It's like, okay, but if I mean, what do you think, Mr. Kirioff? If somebody tells you that a game, I mean, all of the reviews as well that you could see on that page were high reviews. They're not like it isn't like.
This isn't going to be a game where people are like, well, it was received fairly well. It's obviously blowing everything out of the water and everyone's massively impressed. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I enjoyed Witcher 2 a lot. I never finished the game, but I did enjoy it. And
I'm on the hype train, man. I mean, I'm fucking on it.
The Witcher 3 looks immense, but the problem that I have is not it's not so much with the game. I don't have a problem with the game in a way. Like, I'm still looking forward to playing the game. I still want to experience it. I still want to see what all these people are raving about, because they're all going mental. It's like, oh my god, this is the best thing that's ever been made in gaming.
Ain't it, the film?
Yeah. It's
like, and, whoa.
You know, I'm really hyped for Mad Max as well because of all the reviews. But at the same time, I do not like the manipulative attitude that publishers take when it comes to selling this stuff. Like, I'm fine with the fact that the game apparently is the best thing ever made. It just makes me more excited to play it. I want to play it now. I want the PC version in my hands this second, so the second we turn this off, I can play the game. I want to do that. But at the same time, I want to have to speculate as to whether the game is going to look as good as it did before I play it. I just want transparency from publishers and developers. I want, like, instead of releasing your massively overhyped screenshot like years ago, maybe release one that looks amazing. Release it, and then over the next few years, instead of releasing one video or one screenshot, why don't you do like a couple? Like, this is from the PlayStation 4. This is from the PC. This is ultra settings. This is good settings. Not everyone can do ultra settings. We all know that. It's not everyone's got a computer that will be able to sit there and run The Witcher 3 at everything maxed out. So why not give us examples of how that would look, whilst also giving us examples like we see on this page, where the game is looking, probably, I'd imagine that is what like most people will play the game at, because that many particle effects in the other screenshots is mental. You know, no, hardly anyone's going to have the capacity to actually play it at that, you know, at that intensity, and that's fine. I don't mind that, but it always sours a game for me when leading up to it.
It's such a drop down in quality though from what they showed. Like they could have made it very similar. I mean, obviously, heavy particle effects and shadow effects and all that are going to crush computers. But if it's very drastic, what they've shown is clearly looks like that is a console game. This is the PC game, but the PC game should not. Okay, that's ultra super settings, but it should be like here on my scale, not down here with like what they are showing. But they're not stipulating it's PlayStation 4. They're just saying this is the game.
I don't want to sit here like reading all these amazing reviews and getting really excited, and then think to myself, but is it going to look as good as it should? Because that's like introducing a note of negativity before I've even played the game. Like, I'm not going to judge the game harshly because of it, but at the same time, when I load it up, I'm going to be sitting there thinking, what's this going to look like? Like, what is this actually? Is it going to be what they said it was going to be like 2 years ago? Or is it going to be what they've said it's going to be this year? Like, which is it going to be? I don't want that note of uncertainty. I want to know what the game is going to mean, it's going to look like for me. Because when you're doing something like this, when you're releasing a game like The Witcher 3, when so much of it is wrapped up in atmosphere and the visual style of the game, and, you know, it's how it looks is a big part of it. One of the best things about Witcher 2 is it looked fantastic. You know, they got the design of that game spot on, and they also got, like, the graphics options and everything that you had. You could make it look exactly how it felt it should look. That's the only way to describe it. Like, it felt right when you played it. I don't want to go into The Witcher 3 wondering whether that's going to be the case or whether it's going to be disappointing in that respect. I just want to go in wanting to play the game that everyone is saying is absolutely amazing in every way. And all it takes is a little thought. It just takes, like, like an extra 5 minutes when you're doing the publicity material to do, like, another screenshot at like higher settings or lower settings. How difficult is it to give, like, gamers as a whole the information to go into it, like, knowing what they're getting? Because we know we're going to get an amazing game now, and that's fine. But at the same time,
when we say that,
though,
when you say that, and I do agree with it. Is, again, like I said in the last hotfix, the people watching hotfix, the people like us, are not the majority. And when you've got, like, people who see screenshots like that on, you know, a promotional trailer or something, they're like, holy shit, that looks great. They're not ripping it apart. Hell, they probably won't even realise when they get their hands on the game. You know, they probably might just be like, well, they don't even know. You know what I mean? So it is false advertising, though, and it happens time and time again with games over and over and over again, and I don't. Something needs to happen for that to stop. I mean, you have to. Your product, your marketing material has to be representative of what it is when you're actually selling the game. It's okay saying like, here's our crazy concept car from BMW. Check this out, guys, and it looks like some spaceship. And then 3 years later, they're like, well, we made this car based on this design, and it's a production car. They're not selling pre-orders for their crazy spaceship car that they've just showed you, but game companies are. Publishers and developers are like, wow, look what we've got, and you're like, fuck, and then you buy it. You know, in some insidious cases, they're actually injecting effects into their engine that are not available anyway. You can do that with, I think it's called Sweet FX on Battlefield 4, so you can make the game look absolutely insane. Or Battlefield 3, I think you do it with 4. There's a lot of like programs like that, and there's things like the NVIDIA thing and all kinds of stuff where you can inject stuff into the game. To, you know, the guy who does the crazy screenshots. Oh god, what's his name?
Is it the Ice Enhancer thing for the GTA series you're thinking of, or is this for...
No, that's one. No, there's like an actual website where a guy takes pictures, like crazy screenshots of games. It's like a blog.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know. Yeah.
That guy, though.
I've got many wallpapers from that site.
Yeah, he injects like effects into the game so they look way better than they actually do. You know, if they're doing that for marketing material, that's bad.
And that's the thing as well. That something that I think is kind of needs to be made clear a bit. I'm not that fussed. When it comes down to playing the game, I know that this computer can play it at pretty much any settings I want. And so that's good for me. Fine, what do you do? But I know full well that not everyone has got that. And for all the annoyance I get from companies doing this and making it look better than it actually will be, and selling it as something it's not because it makes me annoyed. It's because for every person who sits there going, I doubt it's going to look like that, like 1,000 who lose their minds and think it's going to be absolutely amazing, the best thing they've ever seen, and they're going to, it'll be the best thing they've ever looked at when they played a game, and then they won't get that experience. It's like, I can deal with the disappointment, and I can deal with the fact that, that's what companies do to sell their product. But at the same time, there are people who are going to sit there and go, this looks amazing, I cannot wait to play this, and then they're going to play it, and then they're going to be like, this doesn't look as good as I remember, and they're going to be disappointed. And that's really shitty. I don't want anyone to be disappointed by a game when they load it up because they've been given a false impression by the company that's selling the game. I don't, no one should want that because it's a really shitty thing to do. And it's something that you don't have to do. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to just say...
Everyone does it, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, and it bugs me. It really bugs me because...
Or what you get is the thing, like the Battlefront 3 trailer, which is not actually fake, but it is because that situation would never happen in the game. It's like, we've got all these rebels and fucking Darth Vader and all these people jumping around and it's all like super staged. It's like that would not happen in the game, but it's fake essentially, and they've added extra stuff in there. They've probably added like extra explosions and stuff which probably wouldn't happen, and so that's like dodgy advertising as well. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. This is quite interesting because this is Sega saying Alien Isolation sales are weak, but they sold 2.1 million copies. Now, if we compare that to what Sega actually sold in 2014, their second best selling game was Football Manager at 810,000, and Alien Isolation sold 2.1 million.
How is that weak? I don't understand where they're coming from at all with this.
Well,
is it weak because of its, the name, the franchise? It's an Alien game. Like, for what you'd expect an Alien game to sell, is actually 2.1 million kind of crap. Because it's got such a massive, iconic name behind it. Would you expect it to do better than that?
Well, I mean...
Maybe you would.
The piece in the article does say about, mobile games, because we know mobile games are big in Japan, and I do have another article over here, guys, which I do want to talk about in a second. But this, I mean, at the bottom it says, like, they took a $94 million annual loss in 2014 after having a successful 2015. But I got some that's not a failure. Okay, that isn't a failure. 2.1 million is not a failure. That's a game that's done okay. But I'm pretty sure what they've done is they've weighed up how much it's cost to produce this game and how much time it's took compared to what it actually is required to make a mobile game. which can generate more revenue. And businesses want money. So if something makes loads more money, they want to do that. You know, we've seen it year and year, especially in the game industry, year after year, where, oh, let's copy WoW. Let's make an MMO. They're making billions. Let's make the same thing. But we've made WildStar. Nobody plays it. Oh, we've made fucking, you know, enter MMO name here, generic. Nobody plays it. You know, nobody plays it. Nobody plays it. It's the mobile thing is. I know it's really big in Japan, and that, well, I'll just show the article instead of me fucking blabbing, and then I'll get onto Alien Isolation. So this article is for Monster Strike. I've never heard of this game. It's from a company called Mixi. I've never heard of these either, but they are a Japanese mobile gaming company, and as the headline says, this makes $3.8 million a day. Now, that's a shitload of money.
Staggering. That is insane.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've only got to look at their revenues have exceeded like 350 million. Now that's not profit, but it's revenue, and that is insane. Because I mean, I'm going to go out there and say it doesn't take much effort to maintain a mobile game, really, or make a mobile game in comparison to a big AAA game like what Sega have invested in, which is this Alien Isolation game. Now, Alien Isolation itself, I had major problems with the game. Loads of people enjoyed the game. You know, I mean, Lionheart, who was on HotFix before, a couple of weeks ago, he loves the game. There's a ton of people who do love the game. For me, though, it's fucking retarded on a lot of different levels, because the Alien, you know, I like the Alien films. Everyone likes Alien, right? Well, Alien is different to Aliens, yeah? Aliens is like the marine, gung-ho, fucking everyone's killing aliens, and it's the mental film. I think the best one. Alien 3 is a bit bad, and you've got all the other offshoots. And there's a new Alien film being made as well. This, though, was more focused around Alien, where they're on... Have you seen Alien? They're on the mining ship, and there's just one alien, right?
Yeah,
and it's like a horror. You know, they're trying to survive. They've got no weapons. They haven't got like guns or anything. I think they do make a flamethrower at one point, but it's about trying to survive from the galaxy's like most super killer. It's like the ultimate predator. That's what the alien is supposed to be. Like, it's got all the senses. It can kill everything. It's just going to wipe you out, and then you're dead. And that's what the alien does. So with Alien Isolation, there was a point where I was hiding under a table, and the alien is walking around the room. Now, the way it's structured is every room is like the alien follows a path, but if it detects you, it will come at you, and you die basically straight away. You can't do anything if the alien gets you. You can like maybe distract it and use things to sort of scare it away, and you know, like stuff like that. Like you could burn it at points. But I'm hiding under a table, like I am literally under a table, and the alien is walking around the table, like. At that point, the game just totally died for me, and it was a shame, because the way the game looks is great. It does look like Alien. It looks really good. The atmosphere and everything is great. The sound effects and all of that stuff. But the fact that I was under a table and the galaxy's most perfect predator cannot detect me when McGee and Bingo would detect me, and it's just like you would be dead. Now I get that for gameplay purposes that would be fucking impossible, because it would just get you straight away and you would be dead. But then maybe change how you've approached the game. For me, it just killed it. I couldn't handle it. It just killed it for me.
That kind of thing in pretty much any horror game where I don't play them very often, but when I do, something that always gets me, and it's kind of a trope with horror games. You are hiding in a place that really is not very good protection at all, because whatever it is that's trying to find you should be able to see you. The way to tackle that, you've got two different methods. Either the thing that you're hiding from and you're supposed to be scared of turns out to be an absolute fucking idiot and just walks straight past and doesn't check the incredibly obvious place, like under the table. Or alternatively, something happens that distracts it and means it moves away because it thinks you're actually over there, not where you were. Any game that goes with the first option has messed up. They've lost you, because you cannot sit there and say, this is the alien, it is the perfect predator, it can find you no matter where you are, and it can kill you instantly, and then just have it walk past you, just going, I don't know where he's gone.
That's what it felt like.
I mean, if it was a zombie, where it was like,
if it was a zombie or some sort of mindless creature, you could maybe accept the fact it can't see you, like it needs to look at you, or if it just detects you off sound. The problem with the alien is it's got multiple spectrums of vision. It can hear everything. It can sense everything. It can see heat. It can just. It knows you are there. It would be like
when you breathing,
and it would kill you. Yeah. You would be dead.
There has to be some sort of way to approach the problem of the fact that you would die straight away. And the way to approach it is not to make it so that the thing that's hunting you is stupid. It's to make it so that the thing that's hunting you is distracted by other things to hunt. That's the only way you can approach it. And it really gets on my nerves that is something that is not used as often as it should be, because you're supposed to be in a position of powerlessness. You know, you're supposed to be sitting there going, "Oh shit, I literally can't do anything. That thing sees me, I am gone, I'm dead." That's it. That's what builds the atmosphere, and that's what makes it a survival horror game.
Well, the best moments I had in that game were, there's a bit where you are, I think you have to go and collect a key card of some description, but the alien is walking around an area, and you've got to get through the alien. So when the alien walks round, you have to run into like a side room, and the alien walks back, but he doesn't move from that area. So then you have to create a distraction. But when the alien like senses a distraction that you've created, it's like, and it like runs over there. It's like, whoa, fucking hell, you know, that's bad news, because the alien's off to go and find something. But it just felt so stupid to me. Maybe I'm being overly harsh on it, because I'm like, I expect the aliens to be this absolute murderer, but then I also understand the game just would not work if the alien was an absolute murderer in every single degree. But it just killed it for me, and I just couldn't play it. And I just was like, I mean, Amanda Ripley was quite a good character as well. I'll give them that. The way that it was, what's her face's daughter? Yeah, Sigourney Weaver's daughter. I forget her name.
I always forget her first name. I always just know Ripley. It's just Ripley, isn't it? I never remember her first name. But yeah, the thing is, with that kind of thing, I think some people can overlook it, but I think at the same time, there are ways around it. Like, there are ways of making that atmosphere work without just resorting to, we've got this powerful thing that for no reason suddenly doesn't have its powers, because it takes away. And if you do it too often, then it takes away the atmosphere as well, because it's like, well, the last time it walked past me and I was stood like an inch away from it, it didn't matter, so why should I be bothered about it now?
Well, you had the androids in the game as well. Well, the synthetic guys, like Bishop from the films. And they were quite good, to be fair, because they were like not aggressive, and then they became aggressive and their eyes like glowed red, and they sort of and they come for you. But they were like machines, you know, so it was acceptable that they were not some sort of insane killing like machine like the alien is. You know, the alien, like, that's just I keep going, I'm repeating myself now, but that's what did it for me in that game. But the news article where they're saying it's got weak sales, it hasn't got weak sales. 2.1 million is pretty good. You know, that Creative Assembly, it's a UK company, have made that game, and it got loads of Game of the Year awards from multiple places, and a ton of people were happy with it. You know, it's probably one of the most successful Alien games in terms of sales. It's got to be. Well, it's got to be up there anyway. It's definitely better than Colonial Marines. But like,
many things are.
Will we see a sequel to that now? Do I want to see a sequel? I don't really care, but will Sega fund a sequel? You know, again, what worries me with Sega is Sega have got the Games Workshop license, or appear to have, and they're making Creative Assembly are making Total War Warhammer. Now, what happens if that only sells 2 million copies? Is that no longer viable? So then suddenly we won't see other games from them. You know, that when you like I said, I am pretty sure that these companies do compare directly to the likes of this. Let me just go to the screen. This Mixi, because they are Japanese companies, and if it's making that much money off mobile games, you know, everybody knows how much money Clash of Clans makes, fucking Flappy Bird made, and all that shit. It is insane money, because this is gaming which goes out to gamers but also non-gamers. We've had the whole discussion about it before. You don't have to be a hardcore gamer or somebody who would classify themselves as a gamer to play mobile games on your smartphone, because everybody has a smartphone. You know, I know people who are just not interested in games, yet will sit there and play Candy Crush. They're you know, they're paying for it as well, because they buy the boosts, and they buy, you know, it might only be a quid, 50p, but there's millions more of those people than there are gamers who go out and buy systems. And that's, I think, it's kind of worrying, because we're probably going to see more of a move to that type of. I mean, even Nintendo have said that they want to do something with mobile, haven't they? So but these are Japanese companies, and that is a market which is heavily dominated by mobile. Like iPhones and smartphones, they have basically replaced the Game Boy in that country. The Game Boy is still popular, but like a lot of handheld gaming is very big in Japan.
Oh yeah.
So this is really, really big there, but it's also big everywhere else in the world. And I just think it is just a case of lesser production costs and a massive return. You know, I mean, if I came up to you and said, Mr. Kirioff, here's a business, spend 100 million, make a game, or well, make a product and sell it, and you'll make 120 million back, so 20 million profit, you might be like, that sounds good. But then if I'm like, give me 20 million and I'll give you 300 million profit,
Yeah.
You know, and that's all it is at the end of the day, guys.
It's something else as well. It's something that it kind of says just how behind Nintendo are. They're like, yeah, we want to do more with mobile games. Most of your games are made for mobile games. Why the fuck isn't everything you do a mobile game? Why is it taking this long for you to work it out? What's going on?
Well, they haven't even really properly worked it out. I think their problem is they want to control everything. They want the console because remember they make Game Boys. They don't want to be like giving the opposition their games, do they? Because that would be stupid in their eyes. Anyway,
mind you, speaking of control, there is something since we're sort of over there. Konami, latest adventure of Konami, which has been really interesting actually this last couple of weeks.
So I've got spoke about it last week. Article up.
The fact they've gone mental, and Kojima has now been taking off the credits for GTA 5. What's it called? Metal Gear Solid 5.
Metal Gear, yeah.
I don't know why. But there's all kinds of, conspiracy theories and ideas as to what's going on between Konami and Kojima. Apparently as well, worth pointing out this, because I found this quite interesting. We made the comment last week that that Konami had delisted themselves from the US stock exchange.
Yeah.
And how that seemed like really odd. It turns out that actually that wasn't nearly as mental as it seemed. It was just very coincidental that they did crazy stuff and then they delisted themselves, because the delisting came about not because they were kind of trying to shut themselves down or hide away or do anything crazy like that. They weren't trading. Like, their shares were not being traded at all. It was so limited what people were doing that it was literally, there was no point in them being listed at all. So that's why they delisted themselves, because there was no activity whatsoever for them. And so that's why they delisted. But just when I'd read that and thought, well, actually, maybe there's not as much to this as we thought in terms of them going absolutely batshit. But no, of course not. It's Konami. They're still going mental. A chap called Super Bunny Hop did a video about Kojima versus Konami, an investigation.
Yeah, I've got the Polygon page open. So
it's worth watching it. It's quite good. Konami took it down. They apparently didn't like what was being said in it, so they took it down with a copyright claim, which is completely not on because, well, they had absolutely no right to do it, funnily enough. It's amazing how often that happens on YouTube, isn't it? And so suddenly Konami hit the video with a copyright claim and it was removed from YouTube. And of course that led to a big load of backlash. People going, why the hell have you removed this video? What's going on? Super Bunny Hop himself was like, I don't really get what's going on here. However, the video's been reinstated, but it wasn't Konami's choice. They haven't released the video and they haven't done anything about their copyright claim. Super Bunny Hop actually tweeted and said that, I'll read the tweet out. Scratch that. Just got an email from YouTube themselves saying the strike was missing required information. Has that ever happened before? So Konami attempted to get the video taken down with the copyright strike. I've never ever heard of this, but they didn't actually fill the strike in correctly, so YouTube themselves rejected it and reinstated the video. Konami didn't release it. Konami didn't decide not to dispute it when Super Bunny Hop went after them and said, no, you've got no right to do this. Instead, YouTube actually just went, yeah, no, this strike's bullshit. They didn't give the required information, so the video's back up. What is going on with this company? So, what is happening? Was this like a spite thing? It was, this guy is talking about us versus Kojima. He's taken the stance of
I think
Kojima's
it's a Japanese company. It's a Japanese company syndrome. Again, it's like we are going to control what you say about our company because the copyright claim is bullshit because it's not it's just basically a journalistic piece. You can't take a newspaper article down because you don't like what they've said about your company. If he was just showing trailers from them, then yeah, they would have a point. It would still be shitty, but if they were like, all this video is a trailer of one of our games or something, we're taking it down. But what that video actually, I mean, like I said, you should go and watch it, but it just tells you, it's like investigative journalism basically around what's gone on, and it gives evidence and there's sources that have been used.
A lot of it is rumours and a lot of it is unconfirmed sources, but it's still very interesting given the context of what's happened. With the cancellation of Silent Hills and the pulling of PT from the PS Store, which also, by the way, they've done something else with that. Before you could share play PT.
Yeah,
you can't now. That feature's been taken away. That functionality's gone out of the game. Even for people who've kept it downloaded. You can't get it on the store anymore. It's gone. But that functionality has been taken out of the game.
You can still play the game, though, if you've got it downloaded.
You can still play it, but why would you remove share play out of it? Like what is that decision about? What is going on? It's a really interesting video, and honestly, it looks like the general gist of it is that Konami is attempting to basically just shut down anything to do with video game production. It looks like they can't just get rid of people. So there's all this stuff about how, you know, they're blacking out offices and stuff. So like just turning the power out. They're getting people to rearrange where they like getting people to move all over the place. They've merged all of their audio teams together into one massive group. So the guys who work on like Dance Dance Revolution previously only worked on Dance Dance Revolution. Now, like every audio technician and engineer they've got all work together. So there's no teams for different products. They all just work separately on different stuff. And they're just told, okay, you're working on this today, and then move and do that instead. If it's true, which it's, you know, it's impossible to tell. Like I'm not sitting there going, yes, this is the gospel because Super Bunny Hop said so. But if it's true and some of this did come out to be actual fact, it looks like Konami is essentially just attempting to burn every bridge they have with video games and video gaming, and just move out of the market completely.
I remember he showed the financials, and the obviously they're public, so you know they're accurate. You can get access to them. They've got like loads of other stuff like gyms and stuff and things like that. I think gambling
and shit.
Well, it's not legal, is it, in Japan yet?
Yeah.
But if it is, and they can move into that, you know, mobile gaming, gambling, and all that shit, it's probably where they're going to make more money than games. Because I hate to say this, but a lot of their game franchises are shit, apart from like Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hills. Like they are like really big games. Because what we're talking about here, I mean, what games have they really? Well, I'm probably being a bit ridiculous here. Pro Evo
Soccer. But the thing is, they don't. When you look at the how much they're making off games and how much they're making off any other element of their business, the games are not a significant fraction of it.
Well, what was happening? I mean, I've just googled it, right? So Castlevania is one of their games. There is a new Castlevania being made, but it's not Castlevania, but it's the spiritual successor from the guy who made Castlevania, and it's like millions and millions has been raised on Kickstarter already for that, right? But like, it might be impressive to us, millions and millions, but I don't think they give a shit, Konami, because they just we're like, I mean, like I said, look, their main franchise at the moment, Pro Evo, which can't make that much money, I'm afraid, because I mean, it's fighting against FIFA, and FIFA just completely owns that market. I don't even know why they bother making it. Metal Gear Solid is their only, like, I'm going to say, distinct thing that they've got at the moment, and that'll be like, you know, what is Metal Gear Solid? Well, it's Metal Gear Solid. There's no competitors there.
And following Metal Gear Solid 5.
Silent Hills was going to be.
I'm going to be honest. Once we've seen the release of Metal Gear Solid 5, they won't make another one. Why would they? I mean, they've just got rid of Kojima. He is Metal Gear Solid. That's what he is. That's what he's become known for. That is Metal Gear Solid, and now he's gone. You know, he's been taken off the credits. He's not working on it anymore. He's out the door. He's not involved in it. They're not going to make another one. They're going to release this one. They're going to push it out the door. They're going to advertise. They're going to say, look at Metal Gear Solid 5, and then you will never see that franchise again from Konami. Whether he might be able to wrest control of it, I don't know. But if we saw another Metal Gear Solid game after this one, I would be absolutely, like, surprised isn't the word. I'd be genuinely incredibly shocked, because it looks like they just do not want to be in this industry. And instead of pulling out, they're just getting rid of everyone who doesn't agree with that. That seems to be what kind of the general consensus is, that, well, they don't want to be here anymore. It's a power struggle, and they're doing whatever they can to win that power struggle. And once they've won, you won't see Konami games anymore. That'll be it. It'd be gone.
Well, I think wasn't it the Super Bunny Hop thing where it was showing off the Contra slot machine? It's like, yeah, great. You know, maybe they'll use their IPs for that. Maybe you'll see like a Metal Gear slot machine.
God.
But yeah, like I just showed on the stream the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night Kickstarter, which is at $1.9 million, and it basically started 2 days ago. So that's pretty good. That'll get more money because people want a Castlevania game. That's why. I mean, Kickstarter is basically a place to sell games based off nostalgia anyway. It's like, oh, remember this game from 10 years ago or 20 years ago? You want a new one? Yeah, so it's ideal for things like that.
Ukulele, for instance, the Banjo-Kazooie successor, that raised a staggering amount of money. That was just like, they asked for 750,000 or something, and it was like, oh, here you go, I have millions instantly, like day one.
And I was going to end Hotfix, but there is actually one last thing. We'll go to the monitor only. I'm going to play this kind of because I think Blizzard are cool. But this is Zenyatta or Zenyatta gameplay from Overwatch. Now, when Overwatch was announced at BlizzCon, and you know what, talking about events, I really like watching BlizzCon, I do. I find that quite interesting to watch, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of like WoW and all of that stuff, not now anyway. I still find it interesting to watch. But when they announced this, you know, I was pretty like, oh, this could be pretty good. But everyone was like, it's Team Fortress 2, isn't it? It doesn't look like Team Fortress 2 to me, not off this.
That argument, I don't care what game you use it for, shut the fuck up. Every game is another game. It's like, that I just hate that. Like when people say things like, you do know that like killing Floor is just like COD Zombies. Well, what's COD? It's just fucking Doom. Every game is similar to another game because there's only a certain number of different types of fucking game you can make. Not every... Oh, Jesus Christ. That is the worst thing that anyone can say for me. It just really pisses me off. Oh. Anyway, sorry.
No, I agree. I agree. Well, I mean, like, I'm not a pro Team Fortress player. So any comments I make on the game are probably going to be laughed at by people who are, but this looks nothing like it. This is a game which, I mean, you can see on the screen right now, guys, the guy, Zenyatta, whatever the hell this kind of space Buddha guy is, how long is he in these fights for? It's like, it feels like a brawler come FPS game. Like, people are just in these massive fights and you've got all these abilities that are working together. I mean, there's Winston. I know his name because his name's Winston. You know, where's he just guys just like jumped off the screen? I was trying to smash somebody with his fucking hand. I mean,
you know what,
this looks really good to me, right? Yeah, it does. Like I'm not a Blizzard fanboy. I mean, I don't know how this is going to play. I know there's annoying things like they've said there won't be a field of view slider, which is like, you fucking what? Because apparently Blizzard are going to say no, this is how you play the game, which again is a bit annoying because it's like, well, no, you know, they want it all to be like. Well, like they said, they want it to be a game that people who don't play FPS games come in and play, because that's the Blizzard way, isn't it? Make it simple, make it easy to get into. But
yeah, it's
games like, well, I'm going to say games like StarCraft are not really easy to get into, but I do like the way StarCraft is very, like you can actively get really good at the game because of your skill. Yeah. And this looks like a game like that. Whereas if you get better and better at this, you'd be pretty good. I don't know. I just really like this. I watched the trailer last night and I was like, this. Well, it isn't a trailer, the gameplay preview, and I'm just like, this is actually it looks really enjoyable.
I'm getting so many different vibes off this as well. It's like I'm feeling like Team Fortress and Smite, and there's something about the different abilities that I'm just getting like a sci-fi Diablo feel. Is the only way to. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it looks fun. It genuinely looks fun. It looks like something I want to play now, and I'm not a big FPS person. I don't really enjoy FPS that much, but I can already see through this gameplay clip that it's not as simple as just going around shooting people in the head. There's a lot more going on than that, and that really interests me.
Well, I mean, like, from my point of view, I you know I like FPS games, but I spend a lot of my gaming time now streaming, and I've got to think sometimes I can't just go and stream Counter-Strike Global Offensive because I'll be wrecked, you know, because I'm not up with the game, you know, blah blah blah. But this, I could see myself getting into this, get there at the start, you know, have fun with people, get better at the game, you know, don't turn up years late, sort of thing. It really looks interesting, this does, to me, and I just didn't expect, like, I didn't expect to be taken as much as I was by this little gameplay clip, because I just, you know, I'd seen the stuff before and like, yeah, okay, it looked fun, it looked okay. This, though, it's just like a point defense map. So everybody's drawn to one area and they're just having a big fight over the area. But what gets me is people are not instantly dying. It's not like I'm dead straight away. There seems to be quite a long time to kill.
I think that's the kind of the brawling side of things that I'm kind of feeling that's a bit Smite kind of related. Because in Smite, when we played that, it's very rare that we'll go into a fight and just instantly capitulate. There's a lot of heavy hits, but there's also a lot of survivability from what we've played. And I'm kind of getting that same kind of feel where you can go into
Smite's a weird thing to say, but I do get why you've said it. I mean, I just thought to myself, is it an FPS MOBA? It's like, no, it's not a MOBA at all, but I do get it, yeah.
It's just
you know what I think it is? No, I know what I think it is. This guy, he's firing projectiles. They're like skill shots if you look. They've got time to travel, I think. They're not just, is it hit scan? I'm getting down with the FPS guys. I think hit scan is an instant hit. It's not a projectile weapon. Like, I've just seen somebody, Farah, just killed the monk man with like a missile. And obviously the missile is travelling, so I think that's a projectile-based weapon, not a hit scan. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But I don't know, maybe it's something like that. It's almost like you're firing in these delayed shots sort of thing. But the thing is, it looks like whatever this guy is, he's not some sort of insane Twitch-based guy. I mean, he's just firing loads of shit all over the place. Well, it is kind of Twitch-based, I guess. You know, but then there are the heroes who can run in and smash people in close combat, and there's the healers and stuff. I don't know. I just wanted to show it, guys. I'll bring our faces back because it didn't come out of nowhere, but I didn't think that it. Well, it's stupid to expect a Blizzard game not to be polished, but I didn't think it would be like that. I just thought. Yeah. I was one of those guys who thought it was like a crappy Team Fortress 2 clone, of what I'd seen.
I was kind of looking forward to seeing what it was going to be like, but actually having watched this, I'm kind of excited for it. And I don't, generally speaking, get that excited for FPS games just because I'm not a big FPS player. But you can even see that there's not just like shooting going on. That there's different abilities and there's support abilities. And, there's massive shields going down and stuff like.
It's almost like it's almost like an MMO PvP arena thing. That's what it's like. WoW or Warhammer Age of Reckoning was a better example of PvP, where the tanks actually took a load of damage and would go in first because they had the collision detection. It feels like that. It feels like you've got a role. Like if you turn up as Winston, you're going in there because you're the big man. You're going to disrupt them and you're leading the team. And then everybody else has got to do their job.
I've just realised I'm getting another bit of a weird feel from this, which is Nosgoth. Did you try Nosgoth?
Yeah, only briefly though. What put me off Nosgoth? Everybody just fucking have been paid to make videos on Nosgoth.
Not only that, but it's severely pay to win, like really badly pay to win. I say pay to win. I don't know if that's
it's in the Legacy of Kain universe.
Yeah, all the abilities you can unlock them for a limited time for a certain amount, or you can unlock them permanently for a much like a really, really high amount, or you can just pay money for them. It's kind of just on the wrong side of the free to play model for me. But I'm kind of getting that same sort of team structure, team organization feel from this that I got when I played that briefly. Because you'd have the tank going. I can't remember what his name is. Like this massive vampire that had a big charge ability or a leap ability. And you'd have him go in and disrupt the team, and then you'd have the flyer come in and grab someone off the ground and fly away with them, assassinate them in the corner. And I'm kind of getting like a mixed feel from it, from like Team Fortress 2 and Smite and Nosgoth. It's got all these different elements from decent PvP games.
Typical Blizzard. It's just typical Blizzard. Let's take a genre and just make it a refined experience.
Take the stuff we like, put it into one game, and bang, you get Overwatch, you get Diablo, you get pretty much every other game they come up with. I'm actually looking forward to it now. I'm looking forward to it more than I thought I was.
Yeah, honestly, I was as well. I mean, I can see on the side of the YouTube channel here that they've got like a load of these like overviews of different players playing, but this is a longer video, like nearly 8 minutes long. But yeah, it looks interesting. Anyway, guys, we'll end hotfix at that. So today we've done quite a lot of topics. It's been a pretty packed show. As I say though, if you do like hotfix and you want to help the show continue and support the show, then there is a link up there which is to it's like a special annotation card thing link. It's like a little, I think it's a question mark, but it comes out at the start of the video, but you can click on that and that'll open a link to the hotfix Patreon page where you can become a patron, which just means you just basically throw us a few coins our way because you like the show and we'll keep making it. We'll give you a shout out at the start of the next episode. There's also a link to it in the description below as well. And yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. Any final words, Mr. Kirill?
Delightful.
We'll catch you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, toodaloo.